So what's up? My name's David, and I'm a professional mechanic. I've been doing it for better side like 7, 8 years now. Yesterday I went to my buddy's house, Chris. He has a '96 Honda Civic LX. Been having some tranny issues, and he thought it was a throwout bearing, so I decided to go over there and help him. And I'll show you some footage of us putting in a clutch and putting tranny fluid in it and getting it back on the road pretty much. If you like the video, please subscribe and give me a like. Thank you. Alright. So go get that last one down there. Go ahead, zip it off. Sometimes you gotta get at the right angle with it. Okay, I guess we got probably still have one more in it. So I'm gonna rotate the crank over and let's see it.
Go ahead, keep going. Keep going. More. More. Oh, that's all of them.
Well, it might still have dowel pins on the flywheel too. Yeah. That's interesting that it's still doing that though.
It just may be freaking tied in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it happens, like you said, dowel pins, see? That's a dowel pin right there. It's probably caught just on the pins, which only
punch?
my bar.
I got rid of one.
This will be perfect. Yeah, that's all it was.
I know. Ooh,
You
yeah.
never put a clutch in this thing?
Uh-uh.
You still got a lot of meat on this thing, really. It's got a lot of meat. Look at the new disc, and it won't look a hell of a lot different than that. You got some worn fiber on it, but it's not that bad. Not a lot of heat warping either.
So then it won't probably, the flywheel's probably falling in.
But see how we got some marking on your springs over here?
Uh-huh.
It was rubbing against something. This could have been your noise. So it's a little on the loose end. It's a little janky. Well, it's a little bit worn out.
Yeah, you see markings there too.
Yeah. Pin's not that bent though. It's not bad. I'd say this disc can throw back up. One day you ain't got one.
Just put it back in the box. You don't have to do anything to the flywheel or anything like that.
Well, I'll check it out.
Just curious.
No, it's not that bad. Not that bad. You just throw a clutch on it and it'll be fine. If you have, you can't hit it with sandpaper if you wanted to get that glazing off. That's what you do if you have any sandpaper.
I don't think I do.
You can slow down like this. But see, there's not much difference in this pad thickness to the
Right.
rest. I mean, you might have one almost 2 millimeters thicker.
Does it have a lot of movement in that bearing like the other one did?
No.
That might have been that
Yeah.
noise.
I said weak springs.
That's I'm crossing my fingers and hoping you're wrong about that damn transmission.
Yeah.
What's the glazing from? Oil?
No, heat. Like it's just like rotors. Your clutch is brake material. That's all it is.
Okay.
You know, just imagine that the pressure plate is like the caliper of a brake pushing together, holds everything tight.
I got you.
Let's check this out. Thank God. I am so glad this pilot bearing is in really good shape.
What's the pilot bearing?
The pilot, see this right here?
Inside
This
there?
is the pilot shaft. That's
Oh,
part of
yeah.
the transmission. The pilot shaft goes inside the pilot bearing and it just rides in it.
Oh, it's
It
like a
rides
little
inside of
skate
it.
wheel.
Yeah,
bearing.
so when you're pushing your clutch, it keeps the pilot bearing or the pilot shaft lined up in the transmission.
Okay.
You know, that way it doesn't have any weight flop around. But here's the way you install a clutch. You always want this spring spacing outward, away from the disc. It's okay.
Just try to aim it up to more.
But you keep your always keep this part away from your flywheel, and just put your key in it.
Since we don't have it in the transmission all the way out, kind of.
It's still pretty easy.
Oh hell.
See, it keeps it perfectly lined up. Now, I might have to do this a little differently because I'm probably not gonna be able to get the pressure plate over the top of that.
Because
the
the
transmission.
transmission's still in it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
So you're kind of going to put it together all assembled like we took it out?
Yeah. Put my finger on it. What I want to do is get the dowel pins lined up. I got,
The ones right beside your holes?
yeah. They can only really go on like maybe one way, sometimes two ways, but
Oh right, because they're all in way full.
so that's, yeah, so that's not the right way right there.
Half the rotation. There you go.
That's pretty.
What is that key? It's a what key?
This is an alignment key.
Okay.
Yeah, because what happened if you
That
just
aligns into your pilot bearing?
yes, that way it keeps your clutch perfectly true, and then you put all the bolts in it. That way you got your clamping force with your pressure plate holding the disc in place, and then you can slide your transmission in. I mean, otherwise you're kind of shooting in the dark. And
Easier to stab your
yeah, otherwise you'll be
Sure.
fighting it forever if you don't do it right. But I can put clutches in without alignment keys because I've done it so many times and I know how to line them up. But if you don't know how to line them up, this saves you a lot of time. And it's not fun. Like, you're probably
having that training and probably would not get it all the way out. Probably makes it a little tougher to get stuff together, but
yeah. But the way it's out right now, honestly, it'll make the
save us
assembly
putting it back together. Right?
assembly a million times easier. Probably have to rotate that again. So they only like to go on one way, really. Sometimes two, but that seems a lot better. Damn it.
You hopefully got underneath and held up on it.
Pissed me off a little bit.
Get under it. Just we'll keep pressure on it.
No, it's okay. I should just waited for that.
And you can line it up with the key.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of the ones that want to get it lined up with the pilot. Get the key. I want to get the dowel pins perfect. Otherwise, there we go. Now they're on. Awesome.
Get them all in, finger tight, and then
Yeah.
torque them. Do you have to do like a certain torque spec on the clutch, or just?
Not really. I mean, when this stops, it'll put just enough torque on it to where you ain't gotta worry about it. Because if you do it by hand, you're probably pretty likely to put too much torque on it and snap a bolt off. I've seen that happen a million times. Or even using an impact. But I've used it so much with these clutches already that it does a really good job at getting it right on the money. I'll get stuck on the fender.
Get your own magnet look good.
I'm actually kind of happy the way we got the transmission out like this, because it's still being held up just a little bit. Because it's a bitch. It is a real bitch when you pull these trannies out to get them back up by yourself. I've done this a lot by myself in my old house, and it just sucked. I even had a boom that was built in the ground. I put an axle in the ground with concrete and put a boom with steel. Worked real well to be able to maneuver around my garage and do this kind of stuff.